Good day everyone, here I am again Sir June and welcome to our online Math Aralan. I prepared this video as a reminder to our teachers who are crafting modules, activity sheets, and worksheets. And our topic today is reminders in the crafting of module, activity sheet, and worksheet. DepEd Central Office has assured us during our national orientation of most essential learning competencies that the self-learning modules will be provided to all learning centers in the country before the opening of classes. But before it happens, an orientation on how to use this SLM will be conducted. On the other hand, the regional offices and schools division offices are bothered on the issue of not arriving the SLM on the right time, just like what happened to the LMs for the K-12. This is the reason why SDOs, districts, and learning centers are now preparing modules, activity sheets, and worksheets for the first quarter as contingency measure. For me, whatever format of modules, activity sheets, and worksheets you are using, we have the same goal here, and that is to continue students' learning. While most of our teachers are preparing modules, activity sheets, and worksheets, I would like to give some reminders. Number one, which is the most important one, is align the activities or exercises and assessments to the learning competency or objective. And number two, use and follow the most essential learning competencies. Let us examine the MELC for grade 5. In the issued MELC of Central Office, there are two learning competencies only for week 1. These are, number 1, the learner uses divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10 to find the common factors of numbers. And number 2, the learner uses divisibility rules for 3, 6, and 9 to find the common factors. I prepared a budgeted MELC that is aligned to the school calendar. I need to adjust the competencies, thus there are 4 competencies in the first week of quarter 1. These competencies are, number 1, the learner uses divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10 to find the common factors of numbers. Number 2, the learner uses divisibility rules for 3, 6, and 9 to find the common factors of numbers. Number 3, the learner uses divisibility rules for 4 and 8 to find the common factors of numbers. And number 4, the learner uses divisibility rules for 11 and 12 to find the common factors of numbers. Let us analyze the competency. The competency, the learner uses divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10 to find the common factors of numbers, shows that there are 2 skills to be developed to the students. These are, number 1, know the divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10, and number 2, find the common factors of numbers. In the learner's materials for grade 5, the opening problem states that 24 guests were asked to group themselves into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Then a chart was presented to show if 24 is exactly divisible by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Then, divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. The first skill perhaps was achieved. The students have able to learn the divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. How about the true intention of the competency? The true intention of the competency is that the students should find the common factors of numbers using divisibility rules as tool. Therefore, possible activities could be, number 1, use the divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10 to find the common factors of 20 and 35. Number 2, find the common factors of 18, 24, and 36 using divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. Number 3, what is or are the common factor or factors of 18, 24, and 36? Use the divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. Number 4, which could be the common factors of 18, 24, and 36? Is it 2? Is it 5? Or 10? The practice exercise, identifying if a certain number is divisible by another number, just like in the LM, could be a preliminary activity. Look at this example. Find the common factors of 65 and 118 using divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. First, you have to examine if the numbers are divisible by 2. 65 does not end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Therefore, it is not divisible by 2. 118 ends in 8. Therefore, it is divisible by 2. Only 118 is divisible by 2. Therefore, 2 is not a common factor of 65 and 118. Number 2, use the divisibility rules of 5. Examine if the numbers end in 0 or 5. 65 ends in 5. Therefore, it is divisible by 5. 118 does not end either in 0 or 5. Thus, it is not divisible by 5. Therefore, 5 is not a common factor of 65 and 118. Number 3, now let us use the divisibility rule for 10. Neither 65 nor 118 ends in 0. Thus, it is not divisible by 10. Therefore, 10 is not a common factor of 65 and 118. Finally, 2, 5, and 10 are not the common factors of 65 and 118. Parang katulad lang nito, nagagamit ang palakol sa pagsibak ng kahoy. Itinuro ng teacher ang iba't ibang bahagi ng palakol, paano humawak ng palakol at kung paano hahasain ang palakol pero hindi na ituro ang pagsibak ng kahoy. Samantalang ang pagsibak ng kahoy ang skill na dapat natutunan ng bata gamit ang palakol. Sa competency natin, dapat ang natutunan ng bata ay ang pagkuha ng common factors ng numbers gamit ang divisibility rules. Now, let us examine the competency for grade 10 first quarter. In the MELC released by DepEd, for 2 weeks, the competencies are: number 1, the learner generates patterns. Number 2, the learner illustrates arithmetic sequence. Number 3, the learner determines arithmetic means, the nth term of arithmetic sequence, and sum of the terms of a given arithmetic sequence. In the budgeted MELC, for the first week, the competencies are: number 1, it generates patterns, and number 2, the learner illustrates arithmetic sequence. In the competency, the learner generates pattern. The skill to be developed to the student is for them to generate a pattern. There is no need to introduce yet the arithmetic sequence. First, you must guide your students to know what pattern is by showing example. Then guide your students on how to generate pattern. By definition, pattern is a series or sequence that repeats. Pattern is not only in math, though it is the most common. Pattern could be in the form of colors, shapes, actions, events, etc. One example of pattern is the occurrence of a total eclipse of the sun. Once every 18 months, a total eclipse is visible from the same place on the Earth's surface. It is a sequence that repeats. Let us look at this example. Look at the pattern of squares on the screen. Can you find a pattern? Using the pattern you have identified, can you draw figure 6? Next, let the students generate their own pattern by providing the figure on the screen. The direction could be: use the figure to generate a pattern. Let the students think of anything to generate pattern using the figure. The students may draw lines from one vertex to all vertices. Or you may draw a set of figures, shapes, or numbers. Then instruct the students, given the set of figures, shapes, and numbers, generate patterns and explain why it is a pattern. I hope this video helped you as you write your module, activity sheet, and worksheet. Always remember to focus on the competency or the skill that must be developed to our learners. Thank you for watching, and in order for you to receive a certification that you have indeed participated in this asynchronous Math Aralan capacity building, just comment your name and how this video helped you. Again, this is Arjun. Till our next session.